Hi everyone, I'm Rumeth and with me I have Udita. So last week, especially in the last 2 weeks, I put two videos about a biography that I am doing with the author of the biography, which is Udita. So Udita, we've been working on this biography for the last 1.5 years. What do you have to say about it?
Well, we've been doing work on it for 1.5 years, like you said. Uh, we won't reveal the name of the subject anytime soon.
Yes.
Only thing that I'll reveal is that everyone has been writing about the economic crisis of 2022 from so many angles, but this is probably the first time that a book is being written about the crisis from the point of view of the policymakers.
Yeah, so far only Mahinda Sirivardhan has written a book about the economic crisis, but that is not. He doesn't go into details about the political events that happen.
He can't.
He can't. He has put forward the statistics that they use, especially during the economic crisis and until 2024. I think this is going to reveal, our biography is going to reveal what happened behind the scenes when it comes to decision making, all the maneuvering that went behind.
There's a lot of maneuvering.
There's a lot of maneuvering, and also how the government handled, especially the ones who were in power, handled the foreign intervention in our economic crisis.
You mean talking with the IMF and ADB and those institutions?
IMF, ADB, those multilateral organizations, as well as countries, bilateral nations like India, China, the United States, all were part of our recovery process, as well as they were very much involved in our economic crisis.
Of course, there's a lot that can't be said as well because of the sensitive nature of these negotiations and agreements.
Yes.
But what strikes me is that we've interviewed quite a number of people, right?
We interviewed a lot of people, I mean lawyers, politicians, and many more.
Ambassadors
Ambassadors
from other countries.
And what do you think, I mean, what are your memories of those interviews? How did you find those personalities?
Each person added a layer to this particular subject's profile. And they spoke about him from so many angles. As a legal professional spoke about it from a certain angle. Economists spoke about him from a certain angle. Civil servants from that particular government spoke about it from a certain angle. Of course, I won't reveal any hints about who this person is, but what I will say is that we were fortunate enough to interview a former president as well.
Yes, a former president was interviewed, and we hope to interview another president because the subject of our biography had to work with two presidents. We've interviewed one, and we hope to interview the other one is very soon. And yes, so yes, if we go to the chapters of this biography, we won't reveal the names of the chapters. What do you have to say about the chapters?
All the way from his beginning all the way to the future, because I think that aspect is important, because recovery is an ongoing process, and now with Cyclone Ditwa, recovery has taken on a different dimension, because now people are saying that we should probably try to get concessions from the IMF with regard to our debt repayments because of the enormous cost of Cyclone Ditwa.
It is not going to be easy because we are completing our IMF agreement because we signed it in 2023 and it's due to complete by 2026. So we are in the last phase.
End of 2026?
Yes, we are in the last phase of this IMF agreement, and I'm unsure whether we can change the terms of the agreement.
But haven't they said that we have achieved beyond expectations?
We've achieved beyond expectations. The indicators show that we've done a great job. And when it comes to the other things like accountability, anti-corruption agenda, we've done what they asked us from. They wanted us from.
Of course, all those aspects will go into the book as well. This book is not just about this particular person. It's also about the wider context. It's not a typical biography. I don't want it to be a typical biography. He doesn't want it to be a typical biography. You don't want it to be a typical biography. But Rumeth, among other things, I think I chose the best.
Just another point regarding the economic crisis. You think we could have avoided this crisis? Or was this crisis always, was it really going to happen?
It was going to happen. It needed an external shock like COVID-19 and Ukraine. Russia-Ukraine.
But
They were
the
catalysts.
impact from the Russia-Ukraine war was minimal. COVID had a huge impact.
Huge impact for sure on the
but
tourism
still
front.
we had chances to mitigate the crisis, but we didn't.
We had a chance if we had gone to the IMF earlier,
Yeah.
when our foreign reserves were strong.
What prevented us from going there?
That policy making. And I think we have to be very honest here. I mean, this particular person was also a member of that government.
Yeah. How did he change the narrative? When it now his government didn't want to go to the IMF. They had a homegrown solutions. That was the central bank governor suggested. The central bank governor at that time. But this guy came, changed the narrative, went to the IMF and restructured the economy.
Well, what most people don't seem to realize is being a minister in a government doesn't mean that you have all the say. Sometimes you have to go through a maze of other ministers and public officials and whatnot and advisors to the president. So sometimes what you say and what you think doesn't matter. When the crisis came, it so happened that this particular person's views became the only solution that we could have to the crisis. Until then, there were other people peddling different solutions. But after the crisis came, it was his views that actually triumphed. And I think it's tragic because if those views had been considered earlier, we wouldn't have entered this crisis. No?
Crisis, yes. He had given some advice to the government at the time the crisis was picking up. But the government officials didn't listen, especially the senior members of the government, senior officials and senior members of the government. So, what are the lessons that we try to give from this biography? I mean, from an economic perspective, we do engage with a lot of statistics as well as incidents. We will put a comprehensive account on what happened during that period. For the future generations, I mean, aren't we giving them a lesson that they should avoid such bad decisions and take tough right decisions that impact the total population of Sri Lanka? What do you think about it?
Bad decision making translates to bad outcomes, and those outcomes are always suffered by later generations. I think we saw that with this crisis also. My main takeaway from the book is that there's always an insider perspective on decision making, and from the many interviews we've done of both Sri Lankan officials and foreign officials, including ambassadors from other countries, it's very clear that there's a story here. And what we are trying to do is to take that story out to the world, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but Sri Lanka's recovery process has been seen as a success story by many countries.
And it's special how fast we recovered, because if you take Greece, it took them at least 7 to 8 years to come back to its normal order. And there were other countries, especially the Latin American countries, went through the same crisis back in the 80s, and they took a long time to come back. But Sri Lankans, we've been able to come back within 2 to 3 years, which is actually a good achievement in my view.
There are also other factors involved in that. I mean, let's not forget India's assistance.
Yeah.
All that is, of course, in the book. It has to be. But any last thoughts from it?
I think it's going to be an interesting reading for anyone who is interested in politics or economics or whatever the subjects that you study or you are part of. I want our viewers to listen. I mean, just wait and see.
We'll come up with more videos where someday or the other we'll reveal who we are writing about.
Yes,
but for
very soon we are going to reveal his name. Very soon.
And because I think the book will come out anyway in 2026.
2026, at least by mid 2026, we are hoping for a launch.
Yeah.
And
timelines can change, but
timelines can change. But yes, any last words on the biography?
What do you think about working on this book?
It's been interesting, a joyful ride, but there's a lot to come as well. So yes, we've come through the last phase of the biography, and we hope to give our best, a good reading to all our readers and all our spectators. I mean, the ones who will be watching these videos, they are eagerly waiting for us to release this book. Yes, stay tuned with us as we bring more videos and insights into the subject of our biography. Yes, I think that's it.
That's it. This is Udita.
And I'm Rumeth. Thank you for joining. We'll catch you with another video. Goodbye.